If you watch Channel 4 on the weekends, then I'm pretty sure you know about Produce Pete. Today we are meeting up with him to talk about his new book at Cenzino's in Oakland, New Jersey. Pete, it is so good to see you.
Hey, it's great to see you, I'm telling you.
You just released a new book. They call me Produce Pete.
They call me Produce Pete.
And this is your second book. You had Pharmacopoeia, which really was a lot of recipes and talking about produce,
Right.
but this one is all about your life.
Well, this was, I always wanted to do a book for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, to know who, not Produce Pete is, but to know who Pete Napolitano is. My co-author is Susan Bloom. She's got the unique ability to write like I talk. And that was it. I was sitting on the couch talking to her, and she'd be talking, and Betty and her would be looking at each other, "You sure you want to say that?" And I said, "I want to tell the truth." One thing my father taught me to tell the truth, because a lie lasts forever.
I gotta tell you, something I love about the book, it's not just this novel about your life, there's photos. We get to see so much of you as a child. We get to see your parents, your family, where you grew up. And you have deep roots in the state of New Jersey. Obviously you still live here, but you've lived here your entire life.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a Jersey boy, that's right. Yeah, me and Springsteen. but I'm a Jersey boy. And I mean, when I was 5 years old, knocking on the door telling lady, "You want to buy a tomato?" I could have thought that I would have been president of the United States rather than be on television or have people that like what you have to say. That's how I got discovered. I mean, by just a producer walking into a store, hearing me talk to somebody.
Let's talk about your dad and the family business. Obviously, you just mentioned the Cenzino, so that was their family business, was restaurants?
Yes.
And your family business was produce, but
Right.
your dad really didn't help you.
No, he had his own ideas. And we had a terrible relationship, but you know what? What it was. When he was dying, he went to hospice, so I go up one day to see him, and I had one of my grandkids with me, and he looks at Griffin, he says, "Can you put him on my lap?" Now, I almost fell on the floor because that's the same man who, when my son Peter was born, Betty brings him into the store, and he looks at him, he says, "Call me Uncle Pete, don't call me Grandpa." I almost killed her. I mean, it broke my heart, but so he wanted him on his lap, so I put him on his lap, and he says to me, "I'm cold." So I said, so I go in and get him a blanket, put on a blanket, and he looks up at me and he goes, "I never thought you'd do that for me." And I go, "Neither did I." And right there, I forgave him. I forgave him because you know why? It would have eaten me up the rest of my life. And I get people coming up to me going, "That's not just your story, that's my story." You know what I mean? It really does.
It resonates with a lot of people. Another part of your story that I loved is, of course, your beautiful wife, Betty, and how that all came to be.
We met when Betty was 14 years old, and she was at a bowling alley. She had gone there with her friend. I walked in, and I was with my friend Dennis, and I said to him, I looked over, and she was standing there, and I go, "I'm gonna marry that girl someday." Now, I was just turned 16. Who the heck knows about thinking about getting married or something? Well, 5 years later, we got married. She's my best friend. We're going to be married 56 years next month.
Well, Pete, we love you. You're
Well,
the best.
I appreciate that.
And I mean, we just scratched the surface today. There's so much more in the book, so everyone can go out and buy it. And for people who actually want to meet you, you're kind of like on this big book tour right now. Where can we find where you're signing?
Well, if you go to producepete.com, there's a whole list of where I am, where I'm going to be.
Pete, I would get in line any day to be able to talk to you. So
Well,
cheers.
thank you.
And we'll see
Thank
you at
you.
your next book signing.
Well, I hope so. Thank you.